Hello students, I am Professor Priya Kulkarni and here we will continue our second unit, that is fluid kinematics. In the previous unit we have studied what is the types of flow and how to describe a nature of flow or fluid particles. Okay, so that part we have studied in the first unit. So in the second session in second lecture we'll directly start with the how to calculate discharge of flow, how to calculate velocity of flow likewise. Okay, so it is the rate of flow or a discharge q. Okay, so discharge is denoted by q, just remember, and its unit is meter cube per second. Now what is the actual discharge? Means it is the amount of fluid flow per second. Okay, so we'll always calculate discharge in meter cube. Okay, so amount of fluid flow per unit second is called as rate of flow or discharge. Okay, so discharge q is equals to volume upon time. Okay, so volume is nothing but area into length upon time. Okay, now what is the length upon time or distance upon time is the velocity. So that's why q is equals to area into velocity. Have you understood? So basically q is equals to av, area into velocity, and unit is being meter cube per second. So by using this discharge equation, that is q is equals to av, we have one equation, that is continuity equation. So what does the continuity equation actually is? It is equation based on the principle of conservation of mass. What is the principle of conservation of mass? Okay, we have studied in the physics. So by using that principle we derive our continuity equation. Okay, conservation means whatever is there for first point, that will be for the second point. Okay, so that's what, like, but we have to assume some points for this conservation of mass concept. Okay, so first of all we'll see those assumptions. So we have to assume that flow is steady, then flow is uniform, flow is incompressible, and flow is one dimensional. By assuming these 4 points, then only we can derive this continuity equation. Okay, so it is the based on the principle of conservation of mass. So now just see this diagram. Okay, see, this is the type of flow having a variant cross section. Okay, so whatever there is a flow properties, that is flow discharge at first point will be exactly same as the second point. So how to as you can see here, there is a change in area of this cross section. Okay, or because there is a change in area, there will be also change in velocity also. Okay, so to overcome this actual effects, we have assumed that flow is steady, uniform, compressible, incompressible, and one dimensional. Okay, so that's why, so whatever flow is there in the first point, that will be exactly same at the second point. So that is the continuity equation. Okay, that is the statement of the continuity equation. Okay, so flow over, that is a1 v1 is equals to a2 v2. So what is the mass is denoted, or what is the volume of flow over in pipe a over a1 or over first point, that is a1 into v1 into t. Okay, then what is the mass will mass is density upon volume. Okay, density into volume. So that's we use the same thing here, mass over in first point to the second point, that is rho a1 v1 into delta t. And whatever we have assumed here, because we are considering here the fluid characteristics, we are exactly dealing it with respect to time. Okay, so that's why we have considered this time function everywhere. Okay, but being the time difference or time interval will be same for or to flow from first position to second position, that's why it will get automatically cancelled. So what we get is a1 v1 is equals to A2 V2. So whatever is the area and velocity in first position is exactly equal to the second position. So that is the continuity equation. Okay, is it clear? Then just see this diagram. Now if you can see here, the pipe is not having a uniform cross section. It is having a larger diameter or volume and diameter at the first point, and it will having some smaller diameter at the second part. Okay, now just for practical, just have you hold any pipe and have you applied your finger on that particular pipe. uh, so once you reduce the area that you will apply the finger on that particular pipe, you will have a high pressure of the flow. Okay, so for example, if we are watering in the garden, or if we are doing car wash, then we apply our finger on that particular pipe, so that we'll get the stream or jet of the flow, like that. So once we reduce the area, we'll get the high velocity. Okay, and if area is larger, then we'll get the steady velocity or low velocity. Velocity is nothing but the flow or outcome of flow with respect to time. Okay, so like that. So here we have applied that continuity equation, that is A1 V1 is equals to A2 V2. So AV is the volume flow rate. Okay, so whatever, in short, what this continuity equation says, whatever A1 V1 means, what it is the discharge. Okay, discharge at first point, and A2 V2 is the discharge at second point. So basically whatever is the discharge at this first point is equal to the discharge at the second point, and from the common sense it is clear that whatever the volume or whatever the flow is coming from this first position, it will be exactly same when it will come out the second position. Okay, so that is the continuity equation. Now we have some numericals on the continuity equations, and these are very simple numericals, and they can be asked for MCQ and in the final exam if you have a written exam or theory exam. Okay, so this see this example. The diameters of pipe at section 1 and 2 are 10 centimeter and 15 centimeter respectively. Find the discharge through pipe if the velocity of water flowing through the pipe at section 1 is 5 meter per second. So we have given with the diameters, that is D1 and D2, and velocity at first position V1 is given as 5 meter per second. Now determine the velocity at section 2. So we are going to calculate the velocity at section 2, that is V2. Okay, now we will convert first centimeter or whatever the values in the standard form, that is in meter, and uh, D1 is given as 10 centimeters, so we'll convert in 0.1 meter and we'll calculate. We know we are going to apply here the continuity equation. Now one more thing, now in exam how to or how to get know with this example is is asked for the calculation of velocity by using the continuity equation. Then just remember simply, whatever the properties are given for the first position will be there for the second position, and there is one unknown from the first part or second part. So just we are going to directly apply the continuity equation here. Okay, so it is and also it is the use for the calculation of velocities from first point. By using velocity of first point, we'll calculate the velocity at second point, or we'll calculate the area at the second point by knowing the area at the first point likewise. So okay, there is an interrelation between, or it is directly relation between the first point velocity, area, diameter part to the second part. Okay, so we have calculated area at first point, area at second point. We have given with the V1, velocity at first point is 5 meter per second. Okay, now discharge through pipe is given by equation Q is equals to A1 into V1. Okay, So we know A1 and V1 will get this discharge at the first position. Now by using the continuity equation, that is A1 V1 is equals to A2 V2. However, the discharge is same, but the area and velocities are different because of the cross section. Okay, that's why we can apply directly here the continuity equation. So V2 is equals to, we'll get as 2.22 meter per second. Okay, that is the V2. And also by common sense, just remember, if see, this is the 10 centimeter diameter and it is having velocity higher, that is 5 meter per second, and it is second point is having diameter as 15 centimeter and it is having velocity lower as compared to 5 centimeter, that is 2.22. Okay, so likewise we'll calculate problems with the help of continuity equation. Okay, now just see this second numerical. A 30 centimeter diameter pipe carrying water branches into two pipes of diameter. Okay, this is 30 centimeter diameter pipe. Okay, and it will have its branches. Okay, first branch is having a 20 centimeter diameter and second or third branch is having 15 centimeter diameter. Okay, the average velocity in 30 centimeter diameter pipe is 2.5. Okay, V1 is given as 2.5 meter per second, and find the discharge in pipe. Okay, so we are going to calculate discharge Q and also determine velocity in 15 centimeter pipe if the average velocity in 20 centimeter pipe is given as 2 meter per second. Okay, so we can directly apply continuity equation to second and third point. Okay, so as we know, we can calculate directly discharge, that is Q is equals to A1 V Q is equals to, now one more thing here I want to say. So what is the total discharge? Total discharge is the Q is equals to Q1 plus Q2. Okay, so whatever the discharge from these points, it is we going to add up for Q1 and Q2. For these two branches we'll get the total discharge as Q. Okay, so just calculate this area part and just convert the units centimeter to meter likewise. Okay, now we are going to find discharge in pipe 1 or Q1 and velocity in pipe of 15 centimeter diameter or velocity at third position. Okay, now according to continuity equation, Q1 is equals to Q2 plus Q3. Now the discharge in pipe 1 is given by Q1 is equals to A1 V1. Okay, we know A1, we have calculated here. V1 is given, that is 2.5 meter cube per second. So we'll meter per second. So we'll get this discharge at first position Q1 as 0.1767 meter cube per second. Okay, now this is the value of V3. Now value of V3, it is Q2 is equals to A2 into V2. Okay, is equals to 0.0 whatever the area we have calculated here, A2. Okay, into velocity at third position, it is given as 2 meter per second. Okay, so we'll get the velocity at third position also. Now by substituting values of Q1 and Q2 in equation 1, we'll get the value or we'll get the value of Q3. Okay, we'll get the value of Q3 as 0.1139 meter per second. Okay, now by using this Q3 value and by applying this equation as Q is equals to AV, we'll get the value of V, that is V3 as 6.44 meter per second. So these are actually mathematical numericals. Okay, and basically there is nothing, we are going to apply directly a continuity equation, and we are going to calculate for velocities or discharge or area or uh, uh, likewise. So these are the basic simple equations. Now we have studied this equation for 2 dimensions. Okay, there is one concept in your syllabus, that is continuity equation in 3 dimensions. Okay, so yes, we can apply the continuity equation in all the 3 dimensions. So this is one simple derivation for the continuity equation in 3 dimension, and accordingly we have the continuity equation as du by dx plus dv by dy is equals to 0. So this is the continuity equation outcome. Okay, now so this part is up to, or this is for the fluid kinematics part. Okay, so there are numericals on the continuity equation, and also there are maybe numericals on the velocity and acceleration of flow. Okay, so based on streamlines and path lines, whatever we have uh, studied in the previous lecture. So accordingly there may be simple numericals for the uh, for calculation of velocity and acceleration and streamline potential line functions. Okay, now here we'll directly start with the fluid dynamics. Okay, so here in fluid dynamics we are directly going to assume the fluids in motion, and we are going to consider the causes of that particular motions. Okay, now this the fluid dynamics is the study of various energies and forces acting on fluid flow by applying momentum equation or Bernoulli's equation. Okay, so what is the causes we are going to consider? That causes, how to find that particular causes, or how to come to know about what is the reason behind the motion of fluid, that will calculate or that will study from applying the momentum equation or Bernoulli's equation. Okay, so these two equations are very important, and that we are going to study in this fluid dynamics part. Okay, now what are the forces acting on fluid? Okay, so as we know, we are going to study the causes or the reasons behind the motion of flow. So what are the forces acting on fluid? It's gravity force, force due to gravity, it's pressure force, viscous force, turbulent force, compressibility flow force. Okay, so these are the forces responsible for the motion of flow. Okay, now here there is one derivation about the Euler's equation of motion, and by using this equation the scientist Bernoulli, okay, he have derived his theorem as Bernoulli's theorem. So he has used this Euler's equation of motion. So what does the Euler's equation of motion? So this equation says, so the equation of motion in which force due to gravity and pressure are taken into consideration, and this is derived by taking or considering motion of fluid element along a streamline. Okay, now we here in the Euler has considered the gravity force and pressure force, and accordingly he has derived uh, this equation. Okay, as you can see here, this equation. Okay, okay, so this equation is known as Euler's equation, and the scientist Bernoulli has used his equation, and he has derived his own Bernoulli's equation for the flow. So we'll start with the Bernoulli's equation of flow. This can you see this part? Okay, this last part. Delta P divided by rho plus G into dz plus V into dV is equals to 0. So this is the Euler's equation of motion. Now Bernoulli has used his equation and he has derived and he has solved it in a particular form and he has derived this equation. So this equation is developed first. Okay, so there are also modifications in the Bernoulli's equation. So he himself, Bernoulli, has modified his equation and this equation is known as modified Bernoulli's equation. Okay, and there are so many scientists who have modified this Bernoulli's equation, but the first Bernoulli's equation, which is derived from the Euler's equation, is P divided by rho into G plus V square upon 2G plus Z is equals to C1. C1 is the constant value. Okay, so this is the Bernoulli's equation, basic Bernoulli's equation. So what is P divided by rho into G? P is the, what is P? P is obviously a pressure, rho is the density, G is the 9.81, okay, gravity force, plus plus V square, velocity is, okay, velocity at that particular point wherever we are going to apply the Bernoulli's equation, plus Z is the potential energy or Z is the datum height. Okay, uh, so that pressure head we are going to consider. Okay, so this is the Bernoulli's equation and we have numericals on this Bernoulli's equation. There are assumptions in the Bernoulli's equation and this is a very important part, that is fluid of is ideal. Okay, whatever I have told you in the first lecture, in ideal fluid, that if any scientist wants to derive his theory or he want to explain it to the world, he will definitely assume that the flow is ideal, but the ideal flow is hypothetical, it doesn't actually exist. Okay, so that's why the flow is ideal. Now then it will have one question, then why we are going to study these equations and all that. But by assuming this type of assumptions, okay, it will definitely it will simplify our or that particular scientist any term or whatever the principle that he is going to explain to the world. Okay, so the assumptions are necessary. So without this assumption we cannot apply any theory or any principle to the world. Okay, the flow must be steady, that is the flow parameters, velocity, density, etc., at any point does not change with the time. The flow must be one dimensional, that is along streamline. The flow is uniform over all the cross section and is equal to the mean velocity. The gravity force and pressure force are only considered. Okay, so this is a very important point. Gravity force and pressure force are only considered. That's why it is P divided by rho into G plus Z plus V square upon 2G. So here you can see that gravity and pressure forces are only considered. The flow is irrotational. Flow must be incompressible even though the pressure varies, the density must remain constant along a streamline, and friction force by viscous force must be negligible. Okay, we are going to neglect the viscosity of that particular flow. So these are the assumptions in the Bernoulli's equation or Bernoulli's theorem. Now why to use this Bernoulli's equation or Bernoulli's theorem? So we have various pressure or velocity measuring apparatus in the fluid mechanics subject. Okay, so we are going to use the apparatus and we are going to find the velocity or whatever the flow pattern of that particular flow. Okay, so these are the flow measuring devices. Okay, so venturimeter, orifice meter, rotometer, pitot tube, these are the discharge velocity measuring devices. Okay, and for these devices the Bernoulli's principle has applied. Okay, is it clear? Am I getting? Okay, so by using this Bernoulli's equation we can directly calculate with the help of various apparatus that is venturimeter, orifice meter, rotometer and pitot tube. We can calculate discharge, velocity, etc. functions of the particular flow. Okay, so applications of Bernoulli's law, it is applied in orifice meter and venturimeter. So what is venturimeter? Venturimeter is the device for measuring the flow through the pipe. It means we can directly calculate discharge through pipe. Same is the case for orifice meter. Okay, just see this diagram. So this is the venturimeter. Okay, you have seen it here. Okay, so it is device used for the measurement of flow in pipe, and so it is based on the principle of Bernoulli. So it consists of three parts: it is converging cone, short cylindrical throat and diverging cone. So this is the converging cone, this is cylindrical throat and this is diverging cone. So these are the parts of venturimeter. What the each particular part, it has its own specification. So short cylindrical throat is the function of throat to stabilize the flow. Okay, so whatever the flow coming from here, it will get diverged and it will then get converged. Okay, here by converging or by reducing this area at the converging cone, the flow will get stabilized and then it will move towards further. Okay, so diameter ratio is d, small d divided by capital D is equals to 0.4 to 0.7. Okay, so small d is for the converging cone and capital D is for the diverging cone. So that ratio of small d divided by capital D is 0.4 to 0.7. Okay, d is diameter of pipeline and small d is diameter of throat. Okay, so this type of questions will ask you in the MCQ. Okay, just remember. Now what is the diverging cone? It is a function of diverging cone is to reduce the velocity and increase the pressure to its original value to the extent it is possible practical. Okay, so angle of diverging cone is 5 degree to 7 degrees. Angle of diverging cone is 5 degrees to 7 degrees. Okay, now what is the angle of diversion of cone is smaller because water is passing through the throat and its velocity is more since area of throat is less. Okay, just remember, whenever there is a lesser area, velocity will be more. Okay, and wherever there is a lesser velocity, then there will be the more area at that particular pipe throat or inlet. Okay, as this water passes from diverging cone, there is a chance of separation of fluid from boundary. Okay, there is a chance of separation of fluid from the boundary of a diverging cone, causing cavitation. So that's why, to increase the area of flow gradually, angle of diverging cone is less and the length is more. So as you can see here, this angle is less. Okay, this angle is less, so that the flow will not get out of the boundary, and to avoid the cavitation. Cavitation means what? It is the cavitation, or it is the rupture of that particular pipe or this venturimeter because of the higher pressure or high pressure intensity. Okay, so to avoid that cavitation, that divergent cone has very less angle. Okay, and length is more. Okay, now the pressure difference from which volume rate of flow can be determined is measured between the entry section 1 and throat section 2. Okay, entry section and throat section. Okay, the axis of venturimeter may be horizontal, inclined or vertical. Okay, So there is one by using this venturimeter we can derive the equation of discharge through venturimeter. Okay, so we'll apply this Bernoulli's equation to first section and second section, and then by using the continuity equation we can directly calculate velocity at, or we can relate the velocities at first point to second point. Okay, so whatever is the velocity at the first point and second point, from this we can directly calculate the discharge q through the venturimeter. Now here we'll come to know about one coefficient, that is discharge coefficient CD. Okay, I think CD is equals to sorry CD is equals to Q divided by under root of a1 square minus a2 square divided by a1 into a2 under root 2 gh. So this is the sorry so whatever this value is there, this is the coefficient of discharge CD. This coefficient of discharge, okay, CD. The value of coefficient of discharge will range from 0.91 to 0.99 and depends upon the condition of flow and loss. Okay, so just remember this Q term and the range of coefficient of discharge 0.91 to 0.99. Okay, so this is about the venturimeter. So as there is one parameter, there will be plus point, there will be also negative point. So whatever the merits are, the recovery of pressure is near original value and loss of energy is minimum. This is the advantage of venturimeter. And what is disadvantages? It costs higher and occupies more space than orifice meter. So to avoid or to overcome these demerits of venturimeter, there is another appliance, that is orifice meter. Okay, it and this orifice meter we can directly apply, or it can be carried in a very systematic way. It requires lesser space, so it can be installed in pipeline to get the discharge at that particular point. So okay, it is very convenient to carry now. And what is the uses and application of venturimeter? For calculating rate of flow, obviously discharge, for setting the flow of a gasoline in the ignition system of a motor vehicle. So since it uses the principle, that is by convergent and divergent throat, so that's why we can avoid the cavitation if there are high intensity pressures. So we can directly make the flow in a steadier way by using the venturimeter. Okay, the field of medicine has also designed venturimeter is used to measure the rate of blood flow in the arteries. Okay, so this is the main advantage or application of the venturimeter. Then what is the orifice meter? Okay, so orifice meter is a device used to measure the rate of flow through pipe. It consists of a small flat circular plate which has sharp edge hole called orifice or concentric pipe. Okay, the orifice diameter is generally kept half of the diameter of pipe. So just see, these are the obstructions, and this is actually the diameter, or we can calculate or measure the diameter of orifice meter from here. Okay, that is the diameter of orifice meter. So by keeping the diameter minimum, we will get the higher velocity. Okay, so it is actually based on the same principle as venturimeter, but here the value of coefficient of discharge for orifice meter is between 0.60 to 0.65, and while in venturimeter it is 0.91 to 0.99, and in orifice meter CD value is 0.60 to 0.65. So this is economical, less space is required for fitting, and derivation of discharge through orifice meter is much more simpler. So difference between orifice meter and venturi meter. For venturi tube there is no concentration. For venturi tube there is no contraction, as the area of jet is always equal to area of throat and is fixed. While for orifice meter the area of jet is variably less. Okay, you see this diagram. So this is area of jet. By minimizing or by making the diameter of the pipe here lesser, we get the higher velocity. And for venturi tube, CD is equals to CV. CD is coefficient of discharge, CV is coefficient of velocity, and CC is the coefficient of contraction, is 1. Okay. Now again there are some disadvantages or some demerits of orifice meter. Next device is there, it is pitot tube, and pitot tube is used for measuring velocity of flow. Now just remember venturi meter and orifice, by using venturi meter and orifice meter we can calculate discharge. Okay, and by using pitot tube we can measure velocity. Pitot tube is for measuring velocity, just remember this very carefully. Pitot tube is used for measuring the velocity of flow at the required point in a pipe or a stream, and it is also called impact tube or stagnation tube. So it is based on the principle that, so this is the pitot tube. Okay, it is very simple, it will require very less space, it will adjust everywhere, this pitot tube. Okay, it is based on the principle that if velocity of flow at a point becomes 0, the pressure is increased due to conversion of kinetic energy into pressure energy. It is in the simple form. Pitot tube consists of a transparent glass tube bent through 90 degree with the ends unsealed. Okay, so this is a glass tube bent in 90 degree and both ends are unsealed, both ends are open. Diameter of a tube is larger enough to neglect the capillary effects. One leg is called as body, is inserted into flow at upstream and aligned with the direction of flow, whereas another leg is called stream. Okay, this is called body and this is called stem, is vertical and is open to atmosphere. The liquid is rise in the tube due to changes in energy. The velocity is determined by measuring rise in a tube. Okay, so whatever velocity we are measuring, it is due to rise in a tube. Okay, so we have studied the manometers. Okay, so manometer concept we can directly apply here for measuring the height, and that height will get converted with the velocity, and we will get the velocity with the help of pitot tube. Okay, what is the stagnation pressure? It is static pressure into dynamic pressure. So see here, this head is called as stagnation head. Okay, so this is the velocity head, this is pressure head, and the addition of these two will get the stagnation head. Again there are some simple numericals on the calculation of discharge or velocity from pitot tube, venturi tube, orifice meter likewise. Okay, the examples or numericals are very simple, just we have to be very vigilant about the um, application of the Bernoulli's equation at the particular points. Okay, So just take the diameters or heights, areas, velocities of that particular points and then apply the Bernoulli's equation and we'll get sorted. Okay. So we'll see one numerical, uh, some three numericals, and then we'll end up with the second unit. Okay. Water, first example is water is flowing through a pipe of a 5 centimeter diameter under a pressure of a 29.43 Newton per centimeter square. With the mean velocity of 2 meter per second, find the total head or total energy per unit of the water at a cross section, which is 5 meter above the datum line. Now, here we can this numerical is for the Bernoulli's equation. Okay, so various type of heads are given. So just remember, pressure head is a P by rho g is called as pressure head. Kinetic head is obviously it's related to velocity, that is v square upon 2g, and datum head is a P divided by rho into g. So we'll get the total head by addition of all the heads, that is pressure head, kinetic head and datum head. Okay, so rho, that is density of water, is 1000 kg per meter cube. Now what do you mean by density? Basically density in general knowledge, whatever the liquid or whatever the fluid is there, so how much it is heavier than water, so that will consider as a dense or undense. So just for example, if you consider mercury, okay, it is very dense, it is heavier than water. Okay, so that will call it is very dense. Likewise, and if we consider petrol, it is not that much heavier than water. Okay, uh, it will float over the water. Okay, so that will call as it is a very having very less density. Likewise, okay, so whatever there is a fluid, how much it is heavier than water, it is heavier or lighter than water, then we can say it is much dense or it is less dense. Likewise, okay. So accordingly we'll calculate, we have given diameter of pipe, pressure, velocity, datum head. Okay, then we are going to calculate the total head. So they have told us to find the total head or total energy per unit weight of the water at a cross section, which is 5 meter above the datum line. So datum head z is given as 5 meter. So accordingly we will calculate total head by addition of all the heads, pressure head, kinetic head and datum head. Okay, so it will conclude our one numerical. Then there is one numerical given as it has very pipe cross section, different cross section at first point and second point, having different diameters d1 and d2, and it is inclined. Okay, so we'll see that type of numerical. So water is flowing through a pipe having diameters 20 centimeter and 10 centimeter at a section 1 and 2 respectively. The rate of flow through pipe is 35 liters per second. Okay, and the section is section 1 is 6 meter above the datum and section 2 is 4 meter above the datum. If the pressure at section 1 is 39.24 Newton per centimeter square, pressure head is given at section 1. Okay, find the intensity of pressure at section 2. Okay, so we are going to calculate the P2. Okay, so we are given with the section 1 diameter, then from this diameter we can calculate area. We are given with the pressure 39.24 Newton per centimeter square. We'll convert it into Newton per meter square. Okay, then Z1 datum at first position is 6 meter above, so it is given as 6. Okay, for section 2 we are given with a diameter, we calculate area, datum head is given as 4 meter by Z2, and we are supposed to find P2. Also, rate of flow is given as 35 liter per second. So 35 liter per second, we are going to convert it into meter cube per second. Okay. Now Q is equals to A1 V1 is equals to A2 V2. Now we calculate velocities V1 and V2. For Bernoulli's equation, we require velocities V1 and V2. That's why we'll calculate the velocities here. Okay, then we are going to apply the Bernoulli's equation at section 1 and 2. Okay, so this is the statement for the Bernoulli's equation. Then we'll put the particular values, and we are unknown with a P2. Okay, pressure head at section 2. So we'll calculate it. Pressure at section 2 is 40.27 Newton per centimeter square. Since pressure at section 1 is given in Newton per centimeter square, so we can directly keep it in Newton per meter square, or we can directly calculate it in Newton per centimeter square, whatever, but we'll get the pressure at section second point. Okay, is it clear? Very simple numericals are there. Okay, one more numerical for the orifice meter. Okay, for calculation of um, discharge. It is an oil of a specific gravity 0.8 is flowing through a venturimeter having inlet diameter 20 cm and throat diameter 10 cm. The oil mercury differential manometer shows reading of 25 cm. Okay, calculate the discharge of oil through the horizontal venturimeter. Take CD is equals to 0.98. Now what is the variation of CD for venturimeter? It is 0.91 to 0.99, and for orifice meter it is 0.65 to 0.67. Okay, now, and also there is a not fluid is not compulsorily is water. Fluid may be oil, fluid may be mercury, anything that is flowing, okay, is fluid. So specific gravity of oil is given 0.8, specific gravity of mercury is given 13.6, reading of differential manometer is given as x 25 centimeter. So we can calculate pressure head. H is equals to x into s. Whatever higher mercury is higher and lower is velocity specific gravity of oil. So we can calculate pressure difference here. Okay, so pressure difference we get as a uh, 25 in bracket 13.6 divided by 0.8 minus 1 centimeter of oil. So we'll get the 400 centimeter of oil. So diameter at inlet is given 20 centimeter. So we can calculate area. Diameter at throat section is given as 10 centimeter. So we'll calculate A2, and CD is 0.98. So we'll apply this discharge equation. Q is equals to CD A1 A2 divided by under root A1 square minus A2 square into under root 2GH. Now here we know all the parameters. A1 A2 we know, H we have calculated here, 400 centimeter of oil. Okay, just be vigilant with the units. Okay, whatever units we are using in the standards equation, just remember their units. Okay, now here we have used H in centimeter. Okay, so we will get the value of discharge as 70.465 liter per second. Okay, so this type of numericals are there for your exam, and some MCQs are also can be drawn or can be concluded from the application of venturimeter, Bernoulli meter, orifice meter, continuity equation, the first part fluid kinematics parts, types of flow. Accordingly MCQs can be asked. Okay, so just be prepared for the MCQ exam. And I think there will be 2 marks question for in which we can ask for some simple numericals for 2 marks. Okay, so be prepared. All the best. And if you have any doubts regarding any part of fluid kinematics and fluid dynamics, then you can directly contact me. And don't forget to mark your attendance in the comment box by writing your name and surname, okay, and roll number also. Okay, thank you.